Hey guys, Brandon here. Today we're talking about wind and water clarity in the early spring. The reason why wind and water clarity is so important, I want to do a video on this, is because this is kind of the determining factor anytime that you're fishing. Every pro you talk to always uses these things to determine what they're going to be throwing. I mean, obviously forage and structure are two, but those are the two biggest factors that they're thinking about to determine what bait they're going to throw. Let's get into it. Okay, kind of set the stage for bass behavior in the early spring, kind of understanding what's going on here. Early in the spring, which I consider 50 degrees to 65 before they actually get on the beds. That time, their whole thing is to gain as much weight as possible, to feed up as much as possible. So they're pretty aggressive this time of year, giving, still got a little cold fronts, winds, and all that kind of stuff that come through, but overall, they're still pretty aggressive. And the reason why they're feeding up is because during that spawning period, that late spring, which we'll talk about in the next video, they're not going to be eating at all. They're basically eating and they're relying on those reserves that they got in the early part of spring to rely on in that late part of spring when they're just concentrating on spawning, laying eggs, and not feeding. The key feature of wind in any time of year is it helps not only disguise baits, but it pushes the forage around the lake. So it almost shrinks the lake for you. So if you have this time of year, you've got wind pushing on a bank, well, that may be a bank you want to try to target because a lot of that shad and crawfish and everything is kind of getting pushed up on those shallow rocks, shelves, grass, whatever it is, up shallow on that bank. And it's shrinking that ambush zone because that water is shrunk down, that water column's shrunk. So they want to get up there and feed. The advantage you have this time of year, their whole goal right now is to go shallow, to get that sun penetration. Not only is if you get those windy days and that wind pushes that bait up shallow so they can feed on it, one plus of the wind, not only is that happening, they also want to be up there shallow just to get the sun penetration. They need a certain amount of sun on their bodies to incubate, to grow those eggs for them to spawn later on in the spring. So that's one thing. So even if it's windy or calm, they kind of want to be up there regardless in order to sunbathe, get that sun on their bodies to kind of continue that Mother Nature's growing of those eggs for them to spawn later on in the spring. Okay, so water clarity in early spring. Water clarity is similar to wind. So wind, if you get wind, it creates that ripple across the surface of the water, breaking up the light penetration, breaking up anything that the bat, basically if you took a lure in your swimming pool and you put it down there, you can see it perfectly on a calm day, but when there's wind or waves hitting across the top, it makes it harder to see that bait in the water. Not only with wind does that, but water clarity does the same thing for you. In clear conditions, obviously they can see a lot better. If you get stained water, depending on how stained you are, they can't see as well, so they're going to rely more on that lateral line of their body, that vibration, where they can feel baits rather than see the baits. So with at clear water conditions, typically you're gonna have a more natural presentation in clear water. You want the bait to look more lifelike, real, because they can see so well. As you get stained water, then you add that layer of kind of disguise, that filter over where they can't see quite as well, and they're relying more on vibration and those things where you're allowed to get away with more moving baits. Because your baits are disguised and they're relying more on feel. And then you get down into muddy or dirty water, then you get a little bit of both, depending on how dirty it is, when it dirtied. If it's newly dirty, then they may not want to travel out and swim around. It's kind of like when we shut the lights off in our house. You can't see, so you start feeling a wall to figure out where you are. They do the same thing in that newly dirty water. They basically get against something to feel secure. If it's been dirty a while, then they may venture out and chase more things, because just like us, turn off the lights, eventually your eyes kind of adjust and become the normal. Okay, so let's put it all together in that early spring. Take the wind and I'm going to take the water clarity, and we're going to put those together and kind of give you a list of baits that would be best to use in that situation. With fishing, you can't just say, oh, the wind's doing this, the water's this, throw this bait. We're not going to do that. We can't do that. So what I'm going to basically do is kind of help you, teach you to look at your wind, look at your water, and then from those conditions, select a category of baits that you can try on the lake to narrow it down quicker. Okay, so first we got calm and clear together. Calm conditions, and you have clear water in that early spring part of the year. During this time, like I said earlier on, bass want to be shallow. So you're kind of benefiting from the seasonal, from that, but still when you have calm and clear conditions, you're gonna wanna think about baits that are natural, realistic, slower moving, but you can also go with speed. My thing is always, the clearer the water, the faster you want to move the bait. So if you're throwing a moving bait, a spinner bait, maybe a willow bladed spinner bait, you want to move it pretty quick because you're getting that flash, but you're moving it fast, kind of like a cat just reacts to something. They don't quite see it going by because it's moving so fast. They just have to reach out and grab it, so that you can kind of go with that too. You want that natural as possible, most realistic as possible, and either speed or just natural looking presentation, something what that creature, that bug, that worm is doing in that lake. So we got windy and clear. So again, if you remember back, adding wind adds that layer of, it's filtering, kind of like the dirtiness, but if we got clear, we got the wind, at least it's filtering that side of things. So when you add wind, you're able to kind of throw, it just opens up your window more on the baits you can throw. You can do more of those moving baits because they're a little bit disguised with that wind. Not only if you get a lot of wind, you need that vibration, that noise, so they can find the bait. Even if it's clear water, they can't always find it if it's really windy. So that's something to keep in mind. If you got a calm and staying condition, well, yeah, you have the calm water, so you have the wind disguising, but you have the stain that's disguising that bait and making it a little bit easier. So, this is one where you really have to feel out the lake. Like, you may be throwing something slow and dragging because it's dirty and you want to put it near structure, or you may be throwing something and moving it because the lake's stained enough where even though there's no wind, they can't see anyways, and they need some vibration. So you got to kind of play with that and determine what you think is really dirty or not dirty, and kind of adjust your bait selection by that. And then if you get windy and stained, well, here in Oklahoma, that's like the perfect condition. That's what we want in the spring. You get that wind pushing that bait into a certain bank, and then you can throw those moving baits, the spinner baits, chatter baits, crank baits, just kind of banging off structure, rock, throwing it real shallow, because again, they're up there feeding on that bait that's pushing up, and they're trying to get as much sun as they can while they're up there as well, because they need that sun penetration. And then you add windy or calm, and then dirty. To me, this time of year, windy or calm, if you have dirty water, is kind of the same. It just kind of depends what you're gonna do. So when it's dirty, when the water's really dirty, if it's newly dirty, then they're really gonna be tight to structure. Like I said a little bit ago. If it's been dirty for a while, then they may move around a little bit. And typically what I do, if it's windy and dirty, I'm gonna be throwing something moving and loud. Some with a lot of vibration, but going across structure. They're gonna be on that structure still, but you need that vibration, that noise to attract them when you're coming across that structure, either banging off of it or coming over the top with some type of rattle vibration. If it's calm and dirty, well, that's when I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna throw my bait as close to that structure as I can, kind of nicking the structure, hitting it around on that structure, but kind of a slower presentation. So that's kind of how I treat dirty water with wind or calm. You're fishing the same areas, you're just fishing maybe a little bit different, speed versus slow. All right, guys, I hope that helped your understanding on wind and water clarity and how they kind of go together to help you determine a bait in the early spring. Like I said, part 2 is going to be late spring, so that'll be coming up next. Thanks for watching.